And because we are not a body, we can change dimensions, and this is what is happening to us when we leave this body and we die, and we come into another more subtle area, and there we understand for sure what it means, for example, to judge. Now when we judge, we go against somebody, yeah, or against the situation or whatever it is against, and immediately the field will stop you, will try to stop you. No? So when you feel a situation, for example, in your life where you feel locked or stopped, nothing to you somehow opens. That means you are in resistance. No? And for this reason, the word Islam, yeah, has an incredible pressure on us. When you hear the word Islam, even you are a Muslim, even you call yourself a Muslim, still, when you hear the word Islam, it has a pressure. Because it is made for that. It is made to give pressure on the ego structure, on the structure which resists, no? On the resistant structure, and that is called the ego structure, right? So just the word Islam gives that pressure, no? That's why it is so fast. If you can accept this pressure, if you can somehow not go against it, but you allow it, at that moment it works very, very quick for you. It is like very fast. But of course, this is not easy because it is on every subject. There is not a point where it doesn't press, no? And the problem is when you have such a pressure on you and you cannot see it yourself, then you want to give that pressure to others. Yeah? You want to give this pressure to others, and you want to blame others because you say the pressure is not in me, the pressure is outside of me. You go to the other. No? And whenever you go to the other, you do not change anything, in the opposite. You become more and more hard and fixed in your own resistance. So they asked Ramana Maharshi one time, what is if we have a problem with somebody? What should we do? And his answer was, there is no other. Yeah. There is no other. This is something you need not to understand it intellectually only. You need to understand it really within you. There is no other. It is you in resistance. Every one of us in his level of resistance. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, I made my Kareen, my devil. So the devil, the evil, is the one who is against life. No, read it backwards so you understand it. He is against life. Yeah. So he resists. We resist in ourselves with this Kareen, with this devil, our personal devil. No. Which says in the book of love, it is running through our veins. No? So we have this resistance there. And he said, I made my Kareen, my devil, Muslim. I made him to surrender, and this is all there is. There is only one thing in us which resists, and this is an evil. This is against life. You can call it evil or not, but think it in the way that you are against life, your own life. Not only your own life, but the life of what happens. Yeah. So you're not against it. So when you come to a sheikh and you say, I have a problem, yeah, then our sheikh, our master, he would have asked, is it big or is it small? And you would say, oh, I have a big problem. And then he would say, make it smaller, make it a little smaller. Yeah. And if you would say, not so big, they said, if it's not big, don't worry. So problem is also an illusion. There is not a problem. It cannot be a problem. There is only this field, there is only this life field. And as we said before, it is really loving. It wants to love you. It wants to show it all the time to you. It caresses you. If you have that sensitivity, you will feel permanently embraced, permanently loved. And this is why people can sit in loneliness, in caves, on mountains, and they're in bliss. They may be 1,000 times more in bliss than a person who is together with a person they love or with somebody, because the field is permanently available. It is always there and it loves you. You can personalize it and you can give it a name, but what happens when you say, for example, it's Allah, you make it a person. And when you make it a person, then there is another, it's outside, no? And when you understand that there is just a field, there is a presence, no? Which has no name, which cannot be named, which cannot be personalized. It's not a human. Yeah, it's not something you can give it a name, really. Yeah. So this is why in Islam, in Sufism, there are characteristics, there are attributes, how we can experience this field. So there is, first of all, Rahman ar-Rahim. That is the first line in the book of love. It says, in my name. Yeah, my name. The merciful and the compassionate. So the first order is be merciful, be compassionate. No? And for example, some people say, oh, I cannot forgive this one or that one. Yeah. Then you need to understand, as long as you don't forgive, for example, there will be always the field coming and pressing you on that point and give you pain. Yeah. Because there is no not forgiving. It is Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. All the creation does that. So this field does forgive permanently. It is not just to specific people. It is the state of it. It is forgiving. Because you cannot harm it. You cannot do anything against it. You cannot reduce it or make it more. You cannot manipulate it. You cannot do anything about it except adapt to it. Go with it. That means you surrender. Or when you surrender, there comes these waves of bliss, of love, of strength, of clarity. And don't say to yourself, how should I do it? You know, become just aware. This is awareness. Awareness means you perceive, you start to get in contact what is around you, not what you feel or what you think, but what is around you, what happens inside your body, just physically. You perceive, you first start to perceive. Now, probably you do not have a real memory on your infancy when you were a baby, but if it will come to you one day, and it will come to you because there is a memory for everything, because the field is also recording. No, it has this supreme attributes. It is also the absolute recording. No, so you can feel, you can remember if you come in contact with that recording, you can feel that when you were a baby, that you lived in bliss. Yeah. And when you were 2 years old or 3 years old, when you started to walk and to explore the world, we all lived in a very magic world, very magic.